Today we're going to talk about zoning, and the first question with zoning is, well, what is it? Zoning is a way of regulating uses of land within a municipality in order to protect residents and property owners from activities that could interfere with the use and enjoyment of property or threaten public health and safety. Essentially, what zoning does is divide a municipality, whether it's a city, borough, or township, into different types of districts or zones, and then determine what kinds of land uses are allowed in those zones and what kinds are not allowed. The basic idea behind zoning is that human society works better and people are safer and get along better when communities plan the way land will be used, and when they make sure that within any particular area, land uses are similar to and compatible with each other. Zoning is the reason why in most communities you don't have, say, adult video stores in the same neighborhoods where you have churches. It's the reason why in most communities you don't have meat processing plants next to schools. And zoning should mean that you don't have industrial unconventional gas wells next to people's homes. In Pennsylvania, zoning starts on the state level with a statewide law called the Municipalities Planning Code, or MPC. The MPC applies to every municipality in the state except for Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Scranton. Now, the MPC does several things. It gives municipalities the power to create planning commissions, which advise elected officials on land use matters. It gives municipalities the power to create comprehensive plans that establish objectives and guidelines for development and growth. It gives municipalities the ability to figure out important questions like, well, how do we make sure that current residents and future generations will have a reliable source of clean water to drink? And the MPC provides for the adoption of official maps and ordinances that govern subdivision and land development. For present purposes, the most important thing the MPC does is give municipalities the power to enact zoning ordinances. Now, when I say municipalities, I mean both counties and the various municipalities within those counties, cities, boroughs, and townships. Counties can adopt zoning ordinances that apply in all municipalities in the county that don't have their own zoning ordinances. This makes zoning a lot easier in smaller rural municipalities that may not have the financial capacity to administer their own zoning ordinances. Townships, boroughs, and cities also have the power to adopt their own zoning ordinances, whether or not they're in a county with a county ordinance. Now, zoning approaches differ widely in Pennsylvania from county to county. At one extreme, you have a county like Montgomery County in southeastern Pennsylvania, a pretty developed area. Montgomery County has more than 60 municipalities, and every single one of them has its own zoning ordinance. On the other side of the spectrum, you have a county like Potter County in the north central part of the state. Potter County has 30 municipalities, and only one of them, the borough of Coudersport, has a zoning ordinance. The other 29 don't, and there's no county zoning ordinance that governs them either. In the middle range, you have a county like Lycoming, also in north central part of the state. Lycoming County has 52 municipalities. 32 of these have their own zoning ordinances and 20 do not. But the 20 that don't are covered by a Lycoming County ordinance. When a municipality adopts a zoning ordinance, the ordinance has to cover every single part of the municipality, all tracts of land within it. None can be excluded. Also, as a rule, every legal use of land has to be allowed somewhere within the municipality. If you live in a place where there's gas drilling, or where gas drilling could happen in the future, find out if your municipality has a zoning ordinance. And if it does, look at what it says about oil and gas operations. These days, most Pennsylvania municipalities have websites, and many of those websites contain at least some of the municipality's ordinances. But don't assume that what's online is current, especially when it comes to oil and gas activities. In the past several years, a lot of municipalities have amended their zoning ordinances on oil and gas, sometimes more than once. So check with your local government officials to make sure that what you're looking at is the most recent version of the zoning ordinance. The biggest zoning question in Pennsylvania over the last several years has been what power local governments do have and should have to zone unconventional oil and gas production activities, meaning the drilling and fracking of natural gas wells, the use of impoundments for the storage of oil and gas wastewater, the construction and operation of compressor stations to pump gas through pipelines, etc. The development of unconventional gas resources is very much a heavy industrial activity. In fact, gas is in a lot of places other than industrial areas, including places where people live and where children go to school.